Wishing he could collect the paycheck. I'm not even going to say he's just sitting around doing nothing. He's like, man, I really don't want to work at Walmart anymore.
I used to be a WWE superstar. Yeah, of course you were, Brad. All right.
He wasn't even a superstar. He was a freaking GM and a referee.
He was for like a sneeze, like a cup of coffee. He did like 2 matches, and I think he lost both against Ryback, which is someone you...
Oh, that matters.
Don't want to lose to.
Hey guys, like this tweet if I should retire. Ryback
Most
is like
liked
the
tweet of all time.
Yeah, guys, that was a joke. This one's real.
Ryback is like a 13-year-old girl in middle school. Like, look, guys, if you like this tweet, that means you hate me. Reply if you actually like me. I want to know who my real fans are.
And he still.
There's just some people in the wrestling business that just need to stay away.
Go Goldberg. Sorry, had something there.
Oh,
that
fuck,
was weird.
Right.
I feel like I almost understood what you were saying there.
Hey, everybody. By the way, I'm not sure how you want to edit this. Welcome back to another episode of the 3 Counted Out podcast. I forgot that it was my job to intro this show. Last week, we had an excellent interview with the one, the only, Artie Mosh. We have some fun things coming down the pipeline in the future with that one. Maybe. But this week, we are going back to your bog standard episode. We got some wrestling conversation in the world of AEW and WWE as we get ever closer to Survivor Series. And when Survivor Series rolls around, that means to me we are 1 month away from Mania season, baby. But in the world of football, college still going strong, NFL blazing through. The season feels like it's going quicker and quicker than ever, and before you know, we're going to blink and football will be already done again. But until that point happens, we might as well enjoy it while we have it. My name is Jackal, and I wish I was the second player ever to have a punt return touchdown and a receiving touchdown in the same game. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and I am joined by my 2 offensive linemen.
I'm the size of one, at least. I'm Mike. Well, the size of a small one. A mini offensive lineman.
Mike's a fun-sized offensive lineman.
Which I guess is just a fullback in the NFL world.
He's a really slow tight end.
What's that? You want a 4.40? How about a 6.440? Is that fine?
About the best you're going to get out of me.
Hi, I'm FGK, and if Kevin Hart was as an O lineman, yeah, that would be me. I'm not short, but it would not be pretty to watch. But you know what was pretty to watch?
A football team with Kevin Hart as an offensive lineman.
That would be great.
What was pretty to watch is WWE highlights of WrestleMania 17, because I would like to start with wrestling first. And I know a bunch of AEW stuff has happened recently, and as I'm certain the couple people who listen to this that are avid AEW fans know, FGK and myself are not big AEW avid frequent watchers. One thing I do watch, though, is my social media feed, and the one thing that came across it recently is that there was a little announcement made by the wonderful people at AEW. Kevin, would you like to guess who is going to have a dark match at an upcoming, or not a dark match, a pre-show match at a up-and-coming AEW event?
I don't have to guess because I saw the exact same tweet, and it is I'm dating this podcast now as officially of 10/28/2024. I will no longer be supporting AEW as they have lost all sense of what is cultural, and they're just going with what's hot. Fuck the Costco guys, genuinely.
Yeah.
I cannot make this any clearer. You can call me a hater and whatever. You guys can say it's funny and they're being cute or fucking whatever. It's fucking annoying. It's dumb. The guys got psycho crazy eyes, and if there's one thing to tell you,
they don't blink.
They don't blink. I'm not even sure if they're human.
That's
so probably because
concerning.
of cocaine. Of cocaine.
They do live in Boca Raton, so
yeah.
it kind of makes sense.
No, I did see that, and I think it's so dumb that there are so many other wrestlers that would like to have, not a dark match, an actual match on AEW TV. But Tony Khan, in his forever wisdom, went, "We really like these guys. What they say? Chunk my chocolate cookie or something. Maybe he'll chunk my chocolate cookie. Let's get him on here." And that is. I've seen a lot of dumb things in wrestling. In fact, you can't not watch wrestling for more than maybe a week without seeing something dumb. This is fucking dumb. This is I can't support an organization like this, and I supported WWE through the 2010 era. Oof, that was rough. I can't. Without going into a full blown meltdown. That's kind of all I can really say about this.
It's not anything don't get me wrong. I understand why they did it on paper. I get it. They have a good chunk of followers on social media, on TikTok, so they're thinking, hopefully, any one of those people that follow the Costco guys see that, oh my god, Big AJ is actually wrestling a match. I want to go watch it and go buy this thing and maybe become a fan, blah, 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 blah. But it's just become so mind-boggling to me. That is the the culture that we live in now, is that we got to make a wrestling company has to make sure that the guys who made their brand somebody else's brand, they got to make sure they're taken care of so that their wrestling show can do better. It's so absurd to me. And the fact that his little stupid kid is going to be at ringside too, it kind of pisses me off a little bit.
I can't wait for the Hawk Tuah girl to become the new AEW World Champion in 2 years.
My God.
Don't even fucking joke about that.
Don't put it into the air, because then it's actually going to it's going to be Hawk Tuah versus Britt Baker at frickin' Wrestle Dream in 2 years from now.
I fucking I hate. I'm trying to contain myself so much because I just want to fucking go off. It is really dumb. I think it's even stupider that didn't the dude have a freaking retirement match in AEW and everybody was like, it's a big deal. It's the guy who eats Costco and is a fat fuck with his fat fuck son. Not Goldberg, the other one.
As far as that goes, I can't answer, but I know somebody who can. Mike?
Which guy are you talking about? What?
Didn't the one Costco guy already do an AEW match, or are we imagining?
Yeah, he did a dark match at the pre-taping or whatever before the pay-per-view. I don't know. I didn't fucking watch it because why would I watch that?
Fair enough.
Cool. Hey, yeah, let's get the guy in that can't wrestle. Let's watch him wrestle. Hard pass.
But they say chocolate cookie.
That's just it. I know exactly zero about any of those people, and all I know is why would I watch you wrestle if you can't? If I want to do that, I would just watch old Goldberg matches.
Yeah.
But I won't have to because he's probably going to be at Crown Jewel. So there's that.
Oh, okay. So,
but real quick, all right. So before we start going off on more tangents, I did want to say, because we were talking about it earlier, and it was in Detroit. They had TNA had their pay-per-view. They had their highest box in the 11 years.
Yeah.
Which, props to them. That's fucking awesome. And then Sunday, Chris Bay got severely injured. I was telling Kevin, because you weren't here yet. It was so bad that they stopped the whole pre-taping and immediately took him to a hospital where he had surgery.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So it's the same type of... I'm not going to say same type, but same type of severity, like Aiden Hutchinson, where you got to stop the game and he's got to go to a hospital now type of injury.
Yeah, he was...
boy.
It was a neck injury, too. So, because all of a sudden I saw posts on X of all these people wishing him well and all this kind of stuff. I was like, what the hell happened? And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, it was bad. They stopped the whole show. They still did the meet and greet, But other than that, like everything else was just done. So I'm assuming he got, surgery at a local facility there. Hopefully, he's healing up soon because literally it was the day after, like they were like, yeah, TNA did great, and then it was, uh-oh.
Oh no. Oopsie poopsie, actually.
Yeah. So, but yeah, TNA-wise, the Hardys for some reason have belts again because TNA doesn't always have great ideas. Nick Namath is their main champion. Jordan Grace finally lost to Masha Slamovich, so I think that was one of those matches where they were like, all right, she finally has to lose at some point.
I've told you once and I've told you again, Masha Slamovich still does sound like a porn star cosplaying as a wrestler type of name. I still can't get over how fake that name sounds.
It's not a great name.
Masha Slamovich. She's good though. I mean,
honestly, it sounds like an Italian sandwich.
You go for the Masha Slamovich.
I like to order the Slamovich, my friend. It looks pretty good.
Very popular nowadays.
I don't know why you're doing that voice for an Italian joint, but sure.
All right, hey, it's a very popular drink.
There you go.
Have you met my sister?
Voice guy Kev, because it turns out F's are V's. There we go.
Whatever Italians say. We smell. I don't know.
Wow.
Fairly certain
right.
that's not it.
The views held by Voice guy Kev are not supported by the 3 Counted Out podcast. God, Era's not here for 1 week, and we all just sort of devolve into this, huh?
Yep.
Or we go straight off the rails. Yeah.
The one thing that I do not feel is real, that the Hardys are tag team champions in TNA, and the fucking Motor City Machine Guns are your new WWE SmackDown tag team champions. That is
weird.
A sentence I never thought I'd be able to say. Genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch the match, but I kind of put 2 and 2 together that since Bloodline is doing everything with original Bloodline, I'm going to assume that Jimmy and or Jay was the ones that screwed over the Bloodline out of their titles to help the Machine Guns win.
What? How did you know?
That's a lucky guess. It's a lucky guess I did. Oh, you got me. I didn't want.
This guy must watch wrestling.
Yeah, well, all right. So on that front, I really do think like that's where it's like, hey, those storylines are really meant for just kids, where like kids can't predict what's coming. They don't understand. Where meanwhile we get it immediately because we've been watching forever and a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we also know that, War Games is right around the corner, and that's a big 4 pay-per-view, and they're going to want the biggest, most juiciest match possible for everybody to sink their teeth into. Because with the way that football season is stacking up, Thanksgiving weekend is going to have some banger matches, and they're going to need anything possible to get some eyes away off of football games and onto wrestling. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think anything has been announced yet, because it's still October.
Match-wise,
no,
I don't think
they're
so.
still just
Oh,
building.
let me ask this, because I also don't know. Is War Games first, or is Blood Money first?
Blood Money, I think, is first.
That's probably why. Okay. I often forget about Crown Jewel, as does everybody else not in Saudi Arabia. So that makes total sense. What is happening with that? Because I see Goldberg's there, Cody and Gunther are talking with each other for some reason, and there's a giant gold, nasty-ass looking thing in between the middle of them.
They're... Well, and that's everybody's been so confused, even though I didn't think it was that hard to follow. Because they're like, well, Braun Strowman's already the Saudi champion. No, he was the greatest Royal Rumble champion. There's a difference. Not much of one, but a difference.
It's there.
Yeah, it's small, it's in fine print, but it's there.
I mean, he holds a title in Saudi Arabia specifically, tomato at this point.
on something they've only done once and they're never going to do again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have this like, you are the super champion, basically, like the ultimate champion. And so it's basically like what they used to do at Survivor Series, where it's like brand versus brand, but instead it's for blood money belt at Saudi Arabia. Which, fine, I guess.
Well, it kind of makes sense with the track record that they've had, is that they have to have the greatest Royal Rumble. They have to have the best tag team match ever. They have to have the best in the World Cup, or whatever the hell. And I remember the theory on the internet being, if COVID never happened, they were going to have the best match in the world happen there between Edge and Orton.
Yeah.
So there's just a really, they need to have this real like self-gratifying thing of like, no, it's okay. We want people to come here and spend money. We're not going to remind you the reason why we're the blood money capital of the world or anything. No, please come on over, visit, stay a while. Oh, okay, sure, we'll take your word for it.
It's a really good thing when they were picking names. They didn't have bad blood there. It would have been a rough one.
No, they just had it in Hotlanta that decided to take a nap for 4 hours right up until the very end.
There's a pay-per-view going on? What?
What's a pay-per-view?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Ask
Crown
Atlanta.
Jewel. Well,
where does Oldberg fit into all of this? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I don't know if you saw at the last pay-per-view where he, what was it? Gunther called him out because, of course, Goldberg just happened to be in the crowd that day. How weird.
What a coincidence.
And he talked trash at him for a bit, said Brett Favre. Bret Hart.
Brett Favre's a better quarterback than you are.
Bret Hart is his favorite, and Goldberg's just nothing. And then he called him out and was like, come on, we can fight right here. I have a spare couple minutes. So all of a sudden, I'm sure.
Okay, well, with Goldberg, you really only need a spare minute. Otherwise, after that, he's gassed. Yeah,
exactly. He's going to be so winded at Crown Jewel when he does his 5 spears. So, yeah, everybody's thinking that he's most likely going to interfere. Cost Gunther that belt. Cody will win. Yay. For a belt that does definitely matter. Mm-hmm.
Yup. Mm-hmm. Huh?
So, yeah. And then the one thing, they're getting a little progressive, I guess, because they're having a 4-way match for the
never mind.
Women's Tag Team Championships.
And that's on SmackDown still with Bianca and Jade, correct?
The belts, yeah, but so it's going to be Bianca, Jade, Damage Control, Piper and Chelsea, and I think Lash and Jada?
How long have they held those? It's got to be a hot minute.
Long enough.
Probably. I was going to say probably not recently, because I remember the last time I vaguely remember anything about the women's tag was Clash at the Castle, when Ginger Powder and Friend won it from them. So they had it for a minute, and then they lost it at some point. So it's they
lost it back to them.
A little hot potato at the moment, and kind of giving me Sasha and Charlotte 2017 vibes. And it's like, that's not. I can't wait for Jade to come down to the ring and say she's a 6-time women's tag team champion with a combined reign of about 2 months, but she's held the belt 6 times.
Yeah.
Well, what's worse is that they're just
Sasha Christ, indeed.
It's just them doing that thing of like, wow, we have all these really strong women that we should be putting in like singles matches so we can really showcase them. Let's put them in tag teams.
Yeah, jeez, oh Pete. I don't remember who I was talking with this about. It's that WWE, the Motor City Machine Guns are WWE's first actual tag team in a hot second.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just sort of squished together, thrown together. We have nothing for you, so you're going to go into the tag division purgatory for 6 to 9 months.
Well, I mean, not DIY. They were a tag team on the Indies. They were a tag team in NXT for a long time.
In my opinion, they've been together and split apart so many times at this point that I'm just sitting here waiting for the next inevitable split to happen. Like, it doesn't...
Oh, well, spoiler alert from SmackDown. That's probably what they're leading up to again.
Oh, well, who could have told you that one was coming? I understand, like, Guerrillas of Destiny, technically, but since you kind of staggered the debut and they're all just sort of falling under the Bloodline umbrella, it's really hard for me to care about that. And anything before that point, I would say the War Raiders, when they showed up in NXT in like 2018, maybe?
Hey, at least they're the War Raiders again and not the Viking Experience.
Like, Viking Experience made me want to eat my shoes.
That's understandable.
They're big, they're hairy, they kind of look like big Norwegian men. Vikings, they're gonna be Vikings, damn it!
Yeah, the Crown Jewel is gonna just be, I mean, there's gonna be some good matches. Do they mean anything at the end of the day?
No.
To us? No. To the Saudis?
They mean the world.
And that's what they're there for, is to make Prince very happy. Otherwise, you don't get to leave, allegedly.
And collect a paycheck and get the hell out of Dodge.
How do you think the conversation goes, like, behind closed doors when he obviously goes, you know, like, I would like to see the Undertaker, and he goes, yeah, he's retired, and they're like, well, you know...
Yes, he did it again. We're gonna glaze past
We're just gonna glance past it, man.
I got a little bit of that money for you.
Sorry. All right. Those conversations probably go a lot awkwardly now that it's Triple H in charge and not Vince, because every single time the word money is said around that piece of trash, I bet he gets a freaking hard on. So now that Hunter's in charge and it's not Vincent Kennedy McMahon, it's probably not as fun for the Saudi prince as it was back then, but the money is still being paid out regardless, so I guess it doesn't really mean much in the frickin' long run.
What do you mean I can't buy your love? This is bullshit.
It's not India, but you're close.
Is that not the same thing?
It's the Middle East is not India, but...
Well, if I do a Middle Eastern accent, it's gonna be racist.
What? It's like the one you're doing now, is it? Pissing off Italians, the views held by Fire Guy Kev are not supported by the 3 Count and Out channel.
I'm just joking. Italians, you make very good Subway sandwiches. It's all
What
good.
about the part when you said they smell?
I said I was just joking.
Well, you didn't say that about the smell, you just said the sandwiches.
Oh, well, it was all implied.
It's going to be really awkward when you're sitting down editing this and it's just going to be a ooh for the past 10 minutes. Just a long censor bar.
What'd Kevin say? I don't know.
Brace me. Speaking of long censor bars.
Don't worry about it.
We could, a long censor bar is basically what the Lions gave the Titans on Sunday. Goodness gracious me.
Yeah.
Now, we started off that game. Like, I wasn't necessarily worried about that game. I will say getting sacked on the first play and then going back to back, 2 touchdowns. I was like, man, are we actually going to, like, this is going to be a game where you don't expect them to come up from underneath? Like, I was thinking it wouldn't be the worst thing because when, I believe it was the 2022 season, when we were like 0-10-1, that was like the one game where we got, the best we had was a tie. And we beat the Vikings, so like they lost to like an 0-10 team, so it can happen. But then, we scored again, and then we scored again, and then we scored again, and again, and again,
and again.
And all my worries just fluttered away as the smile just swept across my face.
And then they had to tell women and children to look away because that was that game turned rated R very quickly.
Like I said, I went and saw a movie, so it was nice coming out and just being like, oh, we're winning by 40. Neat.
Wow!
That is swell.
It was indeed quite nifty.
What's so odd for me that I haven't even had a chance to wrap my head around yet, and that makes me just love. Unfortunately, our situation is very, very different from the one currently ongoing in Philly. I love Dan Campbell. I love that
my
man.
God.
I would give my life for that man.
The city of Detroit is behind Dan Campbell.
He, in his press conference, came out and said, you know what, it's really nice that on days when we come out and we don't play our best game, we can still have the performance that we did. Apparently 50 points throughout the course of a game is not the Lions' best performance somehow.
I saw that exact same one. I was like, this isn't your best game?
This isn't our best, and we hung 50? Are you kidding me right now?
So what you're saying is that if they played their hearts out, we could have got like the first 100-score game in the NFL.
Oh my God. I mean, well, we took the starters out at the beginning of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I don't think any of our starters played the fourth.
No.
That's you don't see that in the NFL. That is college shit. That is unheard of in the world of professional football. I'm sorry, Tennessee fans. You know, you guys are going through it right now. Lions have been there, done that. The first team to go 0-16. So we know the feeling, and you guys have used that opportunity to pick on the Lions in the past. So unfortunately, there's no love lost right now. But
No.
God, does it feel good to have this team where it's at right now. What did you guys think about everything?
I loved it. I loved that it started off like a good game, and then it was great play after great play. We moved that ball. I love every aspect of our offense. I love every aspect of our defense. I love our special teams and the fact that the dude just decided to, while at work, jump out of my chair, screaming, keep going, as he ran for a touchdown. It was a beautiful game to watch. And it was nice to get this happiness out of the way, because I feel like next week, that's going to be that'll be a deciding factor, I feel, for a lot of things.
It's going to be a very, very, very big test, because playing at Lambeau is always, not an easy feat to get through, because it's just the Packers somehow get a buff at home. I'm not sure how or why, but if the Vikings have beat them there this year already, so it's not.
And we beat the Vikings at home, so I know we can do it.
Exactly. It's not impossible. I can hold on. If you want to give me a hot segundo, I can pull up my my FanDuel Sportsbook app.
Yeah.
This segment not brought to you by FanDuel, but it could be if they wanted to. Let's see, holla at Cha Boys. Let me see. I want to see if they have next week's lines out yet, so I can tell you who is favored and by how much. The Lions and Packers have a middle slot. They're going at 425. It should be game of the week if Fox is smart. The Lions are favored by 3.5.
Is that a lot?
Nice.
That's, it's not a lot, but it's good that we are. It's a good thing that we are favored.
Okay,
that's a plus.
I think if Jordan Love plays and they hit him early, I think Detroit wins that by a decent amount.
Yeah,
his injuries are adding up. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch Jags Packers, but that game was a lot closer than I had anticipated it being. I think Packers had to come back and win to a final score of 30-27, and I didn't know that Jordan Love actually exited the game at one point with a groin injury, I believe.
Wait. You want to talk about quarterbacks exiting a game?
Uh-oh.
Deshaun Watson's never playing again?
No, did you guys see Anthony Richardson on fucking Sunday?
No?
No, what did the Colts do?
Oh, no, he's not hurt.
Oh.
Good running play. I think it was a long third down. He picked it up for a first. And then what did he do? Tapped on his helmet to say he was winded so he could come out of the game for a play or two.
He said, Coach, I'm good. Coach. Coach.
So he
Coach, I
he
need to
just came
play.
out, like, took himself out of the fucking game.
Oh my god.
Wow.
He was winded.
Oh,
Yeah, he just said he was like I was tired.
I did see that on McAfee's Twitter. He's like, I've never seen that with a quarterback before in my entire some odd years of just consuming NFL content. That is such a first, and that never happens. That's not a good thing either. That you want your quarterback in at all times. You don't want your quarterback taking plays off. That's not good, Poppy.
Aren't you,
That's not a good.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know,
it just
the
proves that
leader
you're a
of the
puss.
squad?
Mm-hmm.
Did they end up winning?
I hope not.
I
No,
hope not.
They were playing the Texans, and I believe the Texans hung on.
Oh my
That was another
God.
close game. I think the Texans won like 30-20, I believe.
Yeah, no thanks, guys. I'm gonna sit this one out. I don't know why I make him sound
Yeah,
like
do you
Patrick
mind if I
Warburton, but-
take 5 or so? Because I
Yeah.
am just...
Boy, I'm just pooped. I could use a napper or two.
This known black man now sounds like a Canadian and Patrick Warburton in the same breath. All right.
I don't know who this player is, so I took a guess. And it was either Patrick Warburton or your local Canadian man.
Hey, Peter,
Colts-
I need a
breather.
5.
Pass me
Need
the
a breather.
oxygen.
I've been working way too hard.
That I think kind of pissed off the majority of the Colts fan base, and I
Yes, it
don't
fucking
think the
should.
Colts aren't more than likely not going to do much of anything this year, as they have a game. I believe once we are done with the Texans, we do have the game with the Colts. So the Lions will be able to get their hands on them. Hopefully it is another win for Detroit. One last thing on Detroit, because I just remembered it. Breaking news, but also not breaking news. It's
Talking
breaking
about
news,
J-Mo?
but it isn't. No.
Oh.
He's suspended. He didn't take any substances. Whatever. It's just the NFL trying to hold a man down. Free my man J-Mo. J-Mo deserved to be freed. Dan Campbell today at a press conference was asked, is there anything upcoming on the trade block? Are you guys going to make a move for a trade for an edge rusher within 24 hours? Dan Campbell's response: could be. That's it. That's all he said.
Could be.
However, he started grinning from ear to ear and jumping up and down for joy. So
I love Dan Campbell.
So nothing. That's why I said it's breaking news, but it also isn't because he hasn't said anything. However, he said plenty without saying a single word.
Yeah, he did that like, listen, you know I can't say things, but...
I love how Dan Campbell is just the complete 180% opposite of Matt Patricia.
I love it.
Every
I
way,
love
shape,
it.
form. Like, we love to hear him talk. Great motivator. Just when he's giddy, we're giddy. And it's when he wins, we all win. When he loses, we all lose together. Matt Patricia, I can't believe he was ever part of the Lions, honestly.
I don't mind.
I feel like every team has that feeling when they have him.
Yeah.
Like, why did we do this to ourselves?
I don't mind making enemies on this podcast, and since we're growing in both Michigan and Philly, I can comfortably say, and I know people listening will agree with me, I hope Matt Patricia never gets another job in the NFL again.
Yeah.
Genuinely. I don't think he deserves to be an NFL coach because he is not up to that caliber or quality. He got carried by Bill Belichick for years, and it's only now that after he's ruined 2 teams, essentially, that people only just now realize that. But that is neither here nor there. That was the last little bit of Lions news I wanted to talk about.
Let's talk about a few games that actually, if you want to do a rundown of the games, we'll talk about things that stood out in those games and kind of go through them real quick.
We'll start out with the obvious one. Chicago Bears fans, welcome back to reality. welcome back to Earth, because Bears Commanders happened in the 4 o'clock slot this weekend. One of the most boring NFL games I've ever had the displeasure of consuming.
Oh, yeah, it was rough.
Commanders winning for most of the game. Bears turn around and score a last-second touchdown, leaving the Commanders only a couple seconds left. the Commanders, with a short amount of time left on the clock, decided to just grab their balls and hoof it downfield. Only a couple seconds left. We got to get a Hail Mary to win this thing. Let's give it a try. A group of people forms around the ball that's thrown from Jane Daniels after he hucks it up, and they get it. It bounces off the pile. There's a receiver behind the pile waiting to get the ball. They get it, and they win the game on a last-second touchdown, beating the Bears, putting the Bears at 3 losses. And I don't know if you guys saw the cornerback that the
Oh yeah.
The
one person that taunted them, he's the person that tipped the ball.
The cornerback that the ball tipped off of his hands before the play started was taunting the Washington crowd, talking mad shit to everybody. And wouldn't you know it, the ball bounces off his hands and they lose the game. And they lose the game because of him. And
if I was his coach,
it's hilarious.
He's sitting
I would
out.
Scalp him.
Yeah.
I'd be like, how fucking stupid could you be that you decided to taunt a whole crowd and then blow it? Like, you didn't even taunt them and we won. You taunted them.
It's still going.
Yeah,
it's still currently happening.
Still fully in motion, and you fuck up that bad. What are you doing, asshole?
It is completely absurd. Bears, I believe, now are sitting at 4-3. Washington is at 6-2 at the top of their division. I don't think Philadelphia needs to be worried about the Cowboys this year. They 100% need to worry about the Commanders and nobody else besides that, dude. The Commanders are a scary team this year. In other news around the world in the NFL, since Mr. Philadelphia is not here, I feel the need to still touch on it a bit. The Philadelphia Eagles win a frickin' slugfest with the Cincinnati Bengals in a game that was a lot better than people gave it credit for being, to the final score of 37-17. Pretty good game. I enjoyed watching the highlights. I think that is Philadelphia's hardest game for a minute, so they're going to kind of take a breather, get their wits about them, and prep for some harder divisional games since they've only played, similar to the Lions, they've only played the one divisional game against the Giants, but, you know, it's New York. That kind of doesn't really mean too much. Sorry, but that's the case. The shocking game of the week, Baltimore getting upset by famous Jameis in the heart of Cleveland as the Ravens fall to the Browns 24-29.
That was a good game, though.
That one was another one that had a lot of back and forth, and I didn't get a chance to watch too much of it. I just saw the score sort of rotating back and forth while I was at work. How did the Browns really sort of move the ball on Baltimore?
I only watched the
Jameis
last
Winston?
few minutes.
So the Browns actually, Jameis can sling it.
Well, that's just it. Is like Jameis normally, you know, I mean, we've all watched Jameis Winston play. If he plays, he's throwing an interception.
It's a guarantee.
And, yeah, instead of doing that, he was just like, how about this time I don't do that?
I don't want to.
Because, I mean, Nick Chubb only had, I think, like 50 rushing yards.
Wow.
It was just a shitload of passing and great defense. Like, the team is playing entirely different than when they had their favorite ever Deshaun Watson playing. You can tell, like, the team doesn't hate playing with Jameis Winston. They clearly fucking hated playing with Deshaun Watson.
We enjoy football again, guys! Yay!
It's amazing. Like, if you go back and watch any play, when the offensive line blocks for Deshaun, it's like they're going, well, we'll try, I guess. Blocking for Jameis, they're putting their lives on the line. They're like, oh, he's not getting hit this play.
What is hard for me to wrap my brain around when it comes to that game is that Baltimore has a really good defense as well. Baltimore has a high tier defense, so Cleveland showed out for this one. So that's huge for the AFC side, kind of exposing some cracks in the Ravens' armor, showing that they're not as impenetrable as everybody made them out to be. Quick rapid fire of some other games. Cardinals over the Dolphins, 28-27. Aaron Rodgers and friends
into his
losing.
comeback.
Into his comeback to a loss without a guardian cap, to the surprise of nobody. Aaron Rodgers and friends dropped to the Patriots 22-25, which is hilarious.
I love everybody finally giving up on Aaron Rodgers. Oh, so good.
The Falcons beat the neutered, circumcised Tampa Bay Buccaneers without both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. That I can kind of comfortably say I feel like Tampa Bay's season is done without those two on offense. I'm sorry, but that is.
I mean, they don't really have
nothing.
They have decent wide receivers now, but they do not have the tier wide receivers that he's used to throwing to. So it's not going to be the same for them, unfortunately.
Which sucks. I like Tampa Bay. I wanted to see him again in the playoffs, get a little bit of revenge on him, but it is what it is. Saints and Chargers. Chargers 26-8 over the Saints in probably the worst game of the weekend. I think at one point the score was 3-2, I believe.
Yeah,
So,
that was the one
game
that made you lose
started
faith.
with a safety somehow.
yeah.
Like, safeties are rare. Starting your game with a safety is
That's
insane.
bad.
But yeah, it was 3-2 up until, like, I think the second or third or something.
Especially from a Jim Harbaugh team, no less as well. That is kind of that's you don't see that very often. I'm going to be honest.
It's kind of hard to win those games without those fans not putting up those plays.
Without all them plays that you got stored in your little handy dandy notebook.
Jim, we're losing. What do we do? Wait, hold on. I think there's a sign over there. Hold on a second. I can't see it.
The Bills absolutely routed the Seahawks 31-10, making Josh Allen a bit of a stronger case in the MVP race. Now that it looks like Lamar kind of regressed a week. The Chiefs beat the Raiders to the surprise of nobody, 27-20. Denver beat up on Carolina, 28-14. And for the most unwatchable first half of Sunday Night Football ever award goes to the Niners-Cowboys game.
Oh.
The second half, much better, because it finished up Dallas 24, San Francisco 30. I think if either team would have lost this game, they would have been last in their division. And just saying that sentence about these two teams makes me giddy, very happy. Tonight is a very unwatchable New York Giants versus Pittsburgh Steelers. I will take a week off from Monday Night Football. I will puff pass on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds great.
In the world of college football, on the other hand, kind of standard. Nothing really too crazy. At least this past week, since we didn't get to talk about the games from 2 weekends ago because of the Artie Mosh interview. The one thing I do want to discuss, though, is the good old Texas-Georgia game because of what happened during it. Kevin, I know I talked to Mike about it. Kevin, do you know what happened during Texas-Georgia?
Didn't Texas get upsetted?
Close.
Close.
You're close.
Okay, then no.
So Texas lost at home. I could kind of tell Georgia's still a top 4 team, and with the way that Alabama is playing, I think the Alabama game for them is probably going to be an outlier. The noteworthy thing that happened here is Texas got a interception on Georgia, and an egregious penalty was called. A penalty got called that really shouldn't have been called, and it sort of upset the Texas crowd.
Oh, so, I did see this. It's the water bottle thing.
What they did in response was to throw all of their bottles on the field, directed at the referees, And on top of that, some fans decided to rush the field as well in the direction of the referees.
Shit.
The coach had to come out and stop them. The security had to come over and stop them. It was a whole thing. The game was paused for an absurd amount of time. And the worst, in my opinion, the worst thing that they could have done happened as they overturned the call.
Yep. They gave in.
They gave in to the crowd peer pressure.
Wow, that's insane.
That's bad. That's very bad. Georgia still holds on and ends up on going to win the game, so really it didn't matter in the long run. However, the snowball effect of it affecting games in the future is probably what's noteworthy here, because Kirby Smart, after the game in his like post-match press conference, whatever you want to call it, he was talking to the press. Is like, the one thing I have to say about it is, congratulations. You guys now set a precedent moving forward. Because if you bully the if you bully the referees enough, you're going to get your way.
Yep.
That was dumb.
Now
go ahead, treat the refs like absolute shit. It's good. That's a good thing.
We turn our attention to this past weekend where
Wait. We did have one of the most depressing rivalry games of all time.
we'll get to that one. The Ohio State-Nebraska game.
Yeah.
They, I believe a targeting penalty was called on an Ohio State player, and the fans decided to make that known for being a bit egregious as well. So in turn, past the targeting call, their head coach, Ryan Day, started throwing a temper tantrum because he thought the call was egregious as well. So they threw another flag on him for unsportsmanlike conduct, because coaches can get penalized as well if you're calling referees certain words on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
And then and it's a whole bunch of and then. Would you like to guess what the Ohio State student section did afterwards?
I'm going to assume this has something to do with water bottles.
They started throwing their bottles onto the field, and a couple of them tried rushing it after the call as well to try to get it overturned again.
Did it?
No. Unfortunately, fortunately, the referees at Ohio State held strong. Turns out the SEC referees are bitch-made, actually. Big win for the Big Ten this weekend. Makes Ohio State look real bad, and they were in a game that was a lot closer than it should have been.
Wow.
They unranked Nebraska. They only beat them by a touchdown. This is a $20 million team, Kevin. You can essentially pay people to play for your college now. They have paid over $20 million for this football team. And they've already lost one game, and they almost lost another.
Fucking shit.
Mm-hmm. Era's not here, I get that, but I will kind of hop on the Penn State bandwagon this week. I think Penn State has a very, very, very good chance of beating Ohio State this Saturday at Big Noon Kickoff. Little hype for you.
It is possible. All of Penn State's games, besides for one, have been super close, haven't they? Like, they've won a lot of nail biters.
Like, they beat USC in overtime. You know, the one that just happened this weekend at Camp Randall, it was a lot closer than I'm certain Penn State fans would have enjoyed.
Well, I think it's closer than a lot of people thought it would be, too, because you're like, okay, well, they should beat them pretty handedly.
They did eventually. I think Wisconsin more so just came out and punched them in the mouth than Penn State. I think that was Wisconsin punching up instead. Oh, sorry, just punched my microphone. Sorry,
really showing them how to punch up.
Woo! Getting invested into it. I think that was Wisconsin punching up as opposed to Penn State playing down to their competition.
Right.
So it'll probably be another outlier as well in the grand scheme. But there were more games that happened, like Mike had mentioned, being the most depressing rivalry game that ever got played in the state of Michigan. as Michigan ends up knocking off Michigan State, I think, to the final score of 24-17, I believe.
It was something absurd like that. I was watching it, and I was like, this game normally, like, over-delivers, and this time it just is a big wet fart.
It was sloppy, it was slow, it was quiet, it wasn't really... It was essentially a nothing burger. Like, if you... The people in Michigan watched it, I guarantee you nobody else outside the state of Michigan wanted to watch that game, because it was just... It was like room temperature French fries. Like, you'll eat it, but my God, you're just not enjoying it. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
so what would you say was
food,
game of the week
ugh.
in terms of college?
I do think probably LSU, Texas A&M. They finished up 23-38. Texas A&M kind of getting back into the loving arms of the college football playoffs after dropping to Notre Dame so early on. I don't think LSU should be ranked anymore. That's like their third or fourth loss of the season at this point. So LSU needs to get out of the top 25. Michigan, though, the thing we need to figure out, our quarterback isn't anybody that's labeled as a quarterback.
Huh?
Our quarterback this whole time should have been our starting running back, because our starting running back has more passing touchdowns than our active starting quarterbacks fucking combined right now.
How does that work?
That's not a good thing. Trick plays.
Oh. Ooh.
Donovan Edwards has thrown the ball, I think, 5 times. He has not had an incompletion yet.
Oh my.
That's not good.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's great for him, but it's not good for Michigan.
Yeah.
Dude. Jesus, we have these quarterbacks that are getting scholarships and full rides, whatever, and you tell me they can't throw the damn ball?
Oof.
It's not
good. That Michigan offense, again, we have Donovan Edwards, who they're barely using because they're using whatever the backup. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so this dude that, like, everybody was like, okay, he's as good, if not better than Blake Corum, you should use him. They were like, no thanks. We're all set.
Yeah, I don't want to, though. I'm all right, actually.
And then they were like, well, okay, you don't have a quarterback, though. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. We have 3 of them. And
what do you call this?
They forgot to look for talent when they said that.
Yeah, these are GPA quarterbacks. These are quarterbacks that got into Michigan academically, not off of physical ability.
So he had the 4.0, and he mentioned that he played backyard football once. They went, you did?
They said, do you got a 4.0? And I said, I certainly do. My GPA is roaring to go. They said, no, we're talking about your 40-yard dash. It's 4. Oh, you already signed the papers. Oh, no. Regardless, I don't think Michigan's probably going to win 1 game the rest of the season. They'll be a 6-6 team. They'll make a crappy bowl game that nobody's going to watch. And I'm already moving on to next year because we're not beating Ohio State. We're absolutely not going to beat Ohio State. I'm not going to get into any chirping matches on Twitter, on TikTok, no nothing.
Just gonna let it happen.
On to greener pastures for me in the world of college football. I get to turn my brain off and just enjoy the season the rest of the way.
That actually sounds kind of nice, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would literally take a whole new everything on the offense for them to beat them. So it's not one of those like, well, I'm going to get all worked up about it, because why would you?
No.
What's the point?
Why would you?
It's so funny. Does the name Dave Portnoy ring a bell?
Is that? Yeah, that's the guy who eats the pizza.
Yeah, douchebag pizza dude.
Known asshole, but my God, he's like, I don't care. I'll give Michigan $3 million for them to go out and find a quarterback next year. I'll give them $4 million. I don't care. They need a quarterback, right? I was like, hey, bud, take your pizza money. Let's get ourselves a quarterback. Come on now. Chop, chop. Hurry up.
I don't know a lot about him. Apparently he's from Boston, according to Danny.
Oh, he is. He's big time.
He's from Boston, but he went to Michigan.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So he does love Michigan. He has a soft spot for Michigan. Every time I see him talk now, I'm like, man, fuck this guy.
He is asshole. Big asshole. Yeah, it's fun. I'm like, hey, you're a man of your word. You cough up that money next year. We can go shopping for a good one. Looking at the next batch of games, unfortunately, there's not a lot of top-tier matchups this weekend. However, there is the one single solitary ranked versus ranked matchup, and it is a top 4 matchup we already talked about. As you see the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the number 3 Penn State Nittany Lions in Happy Valley. Mike, who you got?
Oh, I don't want to vote for Ohio State this week, so I'm picking Penn State. I'm going to keep it short and sweet on that one.
Beautiful.
I don't want to vote for Ohio State ever, so we'll go with Penn State.
I will also pull for Penn State here. Normally, I would do the bit where the other person would go the opposite way. Should I? He's not here. I mean,
oh man,
could,
I feel like he's gonna correct it in editing. But
that might.
Wait. Did you guys hear Era say something? I heard.
Okay,
I did. I feel like I heard him say, what was that? I'm going against what I would always do.
Aw, that's a bummer.
No.
Oh, yeah. He said he's going with
the Pennsylvania State University.
Oh, man. If it changes,
right.
You guys will hear before we do. Not many other games to really sort of sink your teeth into. We're not picking the Michigan game because Michigan's playing number 1 ranked Georgia, and we all know what's going to happen there.
It's going to be another Lions-Tennessee game.
Oh, sorry, I lied. There's another ranked matchup. There's another ranked matchup of 2 teams that we've not discussed about in the slightest this season.
Oh.
As we see number 18 ranked Pittsburgh going up against number 20 ranked SMU.
Pittsburgh and Southern
SMU.
Miami University.
Sure, there you go. Mike, who you got?
This one is tricky. SMU's been playing good ball, though. Give me SMU.
Smoo. FGK.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Shit. I mean, they had a hurricane come through there. You know, I feel like they could take on a football team. So you know what? Give me the schmooze.
Smoo. Normally, everybody tells him to eat shit, Pitt, but I like Pitt. I'm gonna roll with Pittsburgh this year. This pick. Mike, I don't have my Era listening
just
headphones.
One this year.
just the one time. What is Era saying for SMU Pittsburgh, Mike?
He said normally he would always say fuck Pittsburgh, but he said this time give me
Southern Methodist University.
Oh, damn. You know, that's a common thing from people throughout the world is that they all know that, fun fact, people from Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are actually very close friends with each other.
Yeah, it's lost in the communication they do. Normally it sounds like hate. Nay, love.
It's love. Yeah. How about this? We're going to pick a game that's going to give America a boner.
Yeah.
As we see the unranked Air Force traveling to the number 21 ranked Army. The American Air Force versus the American Army ball game. Gentlemen, who do we got and why?
Just solely based off the fact that they're kind of the exact same team, just one's ranked. Give me the Army, I guess, just because they're actually ranked and they're, I'm assuming, essentially the exact same kind of, teams. They're not really football players. They're people in the military who play football.
Was it the Navy that was undefeated before, or is the Army undefeated too?
The Navy. In the Navy.
They were both. Navy unfortunately lost. Well, I shouldn't say lost. Navy got bent over by Notre Dame this weekend in MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So give me the Army.
Army. I am also gonna go with the Army boys. No, not Armu, Army.
Armies.
Oh, okay, Mike, what's Harris thinking?
He said because the Air Force flies like an eagle, he's picking the Air Force.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Mike is absolutely correct on this pick. I am picking the Air Force, but not because planes fly, mostly because I've been playing War Thunder again in my off time. I'll be back at the end of episode. Bye.
Yeah.
Go, Air Force, go. I do believe there's going to be some better matchups in the NFL for us to enjoy this weekend. As the first one I want to take a look at, which should be a lot more interesting now with what happened this Sunday, as we take a look at the Bears, going up against the Arizona Cardinals in the 4 o'clock slot. Both one team coming off a loss, one team coming off an upset win. Who do we got?
Oof.
What did he say the teams again?
Bears and Cardinals, Chicago, Arizona.
You know what? Just because they already lost, and I would love to see it again, give me the Cardinals.
Oh man. This is one of those ones that could really go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Balls. I like the way that Arizona's playing though, so give me Cardinals.
Arizona. I too like the Cardinals. The new Call of Duty came out on Friday, and Kyler Murray still found a way to win the game. So that hasn't really happened with him in the past. So he's doing some big things this year. He's avoiding the Call of Duty curse. Hopefully he can survive for one more week. Mr. Era, who do you got?
Era said that because we keep on picking against him, that he wants to bear down, and he's picking the Chicago Bears.
Oh, there you go. Going against the grain. The next match I want to talk about is another one in the 4 o'clock slot. The 4 o'clock slot this week,
What you call me?
stacked. The 4 o'clock slot?
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah, I could tell. I could tell. Sees the brand new LA Rams that have actually found life now that both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are back in the same week, which something that nobody thought was going to happen, to be honest. Puka, realistically,
Yeah, what's
come
with
back
everything
this soon.
saying like all these people that didn't put Puka on their thing are really really fucked up? Was he supposed to be like out for a while?
he was a game time decision, and I believe he got 90 yards within seconds, like the first quarter of the game happening, basically.
Okay. So very yes.
He's back. Cooper Kupp is back. Stafford actually has people to throw to now, and they are going to take on a Seahawks team that just got the brakes beaten off of them by the Buffalo Bills. And I believe the Seahawks are at home, so this game should be muy interesante.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who do we
Yeah,
got?
but I think that Rams team, man, that you're right, they do have new life. It is insane. Give me the Rams.
Rams.
I am also going to go with the Rams just based off of them being the Vikings. And I know it had a lot to do with the Lion hangover, but at the same time, yeah, I feel like, I don't know, it did seem different. It seemed like they were actually trying. Stafford is a scary quarterback, so when it actually works, it's surprising that they've lost as many games, but when it works, it works.
Well, they've lost this many because Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were out. He was essentially throwing to you basically at wide receiver. He had nobody and nothing to throw
Okay,
to. So
that
now
makes
that he
sense.
has weapons back, oh my god, that offense is spooky scary. Sorry,
right
my
there.
guy.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to scare you about the Rams offense, but I too am going to agree with you guys. God damn it. Quit being so freaking smart when it comes to football. We're supposed to be different on these picks, damn it.
But did you hear what Arrow said? He said,
What?
"Fuck you guys, I'm gonna be different. Give me the Hawks."
Whoa! Well, that is
Wow.
true. They're like birds, so birds of a feather
Yeah.
flock together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the last game. We'll do this one. Since we didn't get to talk about their game much, and we talked about Mr. Anthony Richardson, Sunday Night Football, as the Indianapolis Colts are taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Gentlemen, who do we got and why?
This one actually is kind of tough. I always pray for the Vikings' downfall. I would like for them to win. I would like for them to lose, but I think they're gonna win. So give me the Vikings. However, if I'm wrong,
Vikes.
That's okay.
Good Lord, I hope that I don't know who I want to win.
Right?
I feel like, I know the Vikings have just been exposed, and again, yeah, you're right, it's Lions over. I hope they lose, but they're not gonna. It's probably gonna be the Vikings
So
by like 30.
The exact same thing I said.
Yeah. Exactly.
I see this as a copy-paste of the 2016 season, where as soon as the Vikings, they went 5-0, and as soon as they lost one time, it was just all downhill from there. I think was what you guys aren't really talking about, and what I remember is Mr. Boysenberry coming into the game because Christian Darrisaw is going to be out for a long time with an ACL and MCL injury. I don't think they disclosed whether or not he tore it yet, but he is going to be out for a while, and you saw how much that Vikings offensive line got exposed going up against the Rams. And I think the Colts are going to see that, trying to bring back the old Sam Darnold. And if Sam Darnold regresses to where he was with the Jets and the Panthers, that Vikings team is in trouble. The Colts aren't going to score that much
the
points.
Colts.
Yeah, that's true. The Colts offense going up against the Vikings defense, probably not going to score much.
And
Especially if Anthony Richardson's playing. But if you get Joe
I was going to say,
Flacco in
you also
there,
forget he gets sleepy.
he's a little tired. He's a little
Yeah,
tired. And
he
Joe
gets
Flacco's
winded.
old.
How you feeling, Joe? Old.
I like Indianapolis here. I feel like the NFL scriptwriter hasn't really had an upset happen on Sunday Night Football yet, if not at all this season. And I feel like that's exactly the way they need to go. Give me the Colts. Mr. Era, who do you think?
He said he hopes Anthony Richardson runs roughshod over those goddamn Vikings.
Look at you go, bud. Yeah, all right. Join you on a couple of your picks. All right. I like it. There we go. In the books, week 10 of the season, all coming together. We didn't get a chance to look at week 9, but we're back with football on week 10. Only a couple more weeks left. It sucks, but let's enjoy them while we got it. Great weekend of football is on the way, and it starts with a god-awful Monday Night Football game.
Yeah, what's tonight again?
Giants Steelers.
Yeah, that's
Not good.
boy, am I
Man,
excited.
you don't even need to sugarcoat it. That's an awful matchup. That's terrible.
Like,
Steelers should win. Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, he's coming in, didn't you know?
Wow.
But Russ is in. He'll throw 2 touchdowns and an interception. and fumble the ball. But, I mean, they should win handedly against the Giants offense that can't score.
Only way to find out, and that's actually by sitting down and watching the game, and we can't do that if we are still here. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Because my book is closed. I'm good.
So we got wrestling out of the way, we got football out of the way, we got predictions out of the way. No, you know what? I'm happy. We're good.
Yeah, I think we're all set.
I don't think, like, what else is there? I mean, I don't think there really is anything else. I mean,
With that being said, if you did enjoy this week's episode of the 3 Count Podcast, please, I think you can like us on Spotify. I think it's a 5 stars thing.
yeah.
I think you can do all that sorts. Comment down below if you made it this far. Put which should the comment? I'm gonna start a new thing. What should the comment of the week be? What word should they say?
I don't know. I think we should, like, if we get legitimate questions in our comments too, I'd like to go over those on the air, or if somebody has something to say about the podcast, whatever it is.
I think that's fair. Yeah. How about a question? Someone asks something about Mike, like his favorite color, favorite food. Just ask questions like that, and Mike will answer.
Fuck your bit, Danny. We're gonna do our own bit. All right, guys.
We said we'll add to your bit.
I said a word.
Well, now it's words with the question mark.
If you enjoyed us over on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button. You can leave comments on any single video we got going on the channel. Subscribe to the channel with that bell notification turned on, as it helps out small YouTube channels like us a ton. We got socials all over the place. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok. Anywhere you want to find us, you can look for us. But if you enjoyed me personally, you can find me at the garbage can of a drag queen, trying to get out all of her fake eyelashes that she used so I can give them to my girlfriend. Because for some reason, they really enjoy most expensive stuff. But if you want to find me on social media, I got youtube.com/JackalJoker or twitch.tv/JackalJoker. Work just as good.
If you have liked any things I've said, or more than likely maybe did not, you can find me over at youtube.com/FireGuyKev, where I will say things a lot nicer. I promise.
By the way, that raccoon outfit when you were going through the garbage can didn't conceal you at all. Just a heads up.
Man.
Yeah. If you like me, listen here. Like it, comment, subscribe, and then listen again. If you didn't like me, that's okay. I'm falling off roofs in a blind panic trying to fight zombies. So you don't have to worry about me much longer.
Got a little dark at the end, but we'll stick with it.
I was gotta say, like, are you on my roof? Are you on your currently? I'm so concerned for you.
Don't worry about it. I'm fighting zombies.
Oh, boy. I mean, if you're going to be kind of distracted a little bit, Kevin, do you see what I see?
I'm just going to slide this little striped shirt over myself real quick. Okay.
With the leg! Got him! Right, get the other way!
No, not off the roof!
2, 3!
My spine!
Roll up! The most devastating move in all this... Oh, I surprise roll up you.
Why would you knock me off a roof?
Oh, I surprise roll up you off a roof.
Oh, it's not supposed to look like that. Oh, it's not supposed to look like that.
Oh, he's like a fruit roll up, but a lot worse.
Owls are bending the wrong way.
Oh, is that your penis?
Oh, God, Mike.
No, that's an actual bone. That's my tailbone.
Hey everybody, Editor Era here from the future. Couple notes. First of all, hey guys, I hope you're listening to this. What the fuck was that intro? It took like 20 minutes for you to even do it. You didn't even say the episode number. It's episode 43, by the way. Costco guys suck. They're not even sponsored by Costco. Fuck AEW for even booking Big AJ. I'm gonna bring the boom all over my fucking wall when my fucking shotgun goes into my mouth when I see him. Get well soon, Chris Bay. Update just came out today. He is in rehab for neck surgery. So Mike was not kidding. That was a very, very bad injury. Hope Chris Bay is doing all right. Oh boy, wild. Crown Jewel predictions. I think Gunther wins dirty. I think Nia wins clean. Unfortunately, probably an Oldberg run-in. Fuck Oldberg, by the way. Also, the views held by FGK are not held by the 3 Count Out podcast. We're not going to talk about that accent. Fuck Matt Patricia. That's actually a view of FGK that is held by the 3 Count Out podcast. Matt Patricia sucks. Rest in peace, Lamar Jackson's win streak. It was fun while it lasted. I also think that we should bully more referees when they make bullshit, egregious calls. I don't necessarily agree with storming the field and throwing water bottles at them, but I do like that they actually listened to the crowd and overturned it. Also, fuck Ohio State. Had to take them picked back in my hands. So fuck Ohio State. We are. Also, eat shit, Pitt. Go SMU. Air Force. And hey, like Jackal said, we're also now on Blue Sky at 3countingoutpod.bsky.app on Blue Sky. So we are there. We're still on Twitter /X, whatever. Listen, Elon Musk is just turning into like an evil supervillain. So, we're over on Blue Sky. We're gonna post them both. Okay, I'm the one that posts. I'm gonna post them both. I'm not gonna guarantee the same content is gonna go up on both, but I'm gonna be on both, and at least the important stuff will go out on both. So, just an alternative. I don't want. Listen, Twitter's doing weird shit with their AI. Okay, if you're an artist, don't post your art on Twitter. Post it on Blue Sky instead, and go follow us while you're there. That's it for me. I'll be back next week. Sorry, I was working this week. Shout out to FGK for waiting 4.5 days. It's Thursday night. They recorded this on Monday. He waited forever to get this to me. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye!